Well, the board of Man United is not happy with Rashford on how he went ahead to behave last week, as he knew to it that we were playing on a game on Sunday, traveling on Saturday to Newport, and he went ahead to obviously go to the club on Thursday night, and he found himself in a position of reporting on Friday when he's really ill, when it was one of the last training sessions for the club of Manchester United to prepare for the game of the FA Cup that went ahead to win by 4-2 down in Newport. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and where you're watching us from? This is Rock and David. The verdict that is huge is expected to obviously be added onto the fine that is going to hate to be given to him from the board and Eric Ten Hag, and you know the high standards that the manager is going to hate to set at the club of Manchester United. We are going to show you how he arrived today this morning at Carrington and his agent as they face the board of Man United and the disciplinary committee on how they are going to deal with a player called Marcus Rashford. Let's see close to 200 likes much on this video. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. This is the channel that brings you your latest Man United news. Then Mika Richards is going to hate obviously Hey Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandes, and the manager of Newport has gone ahead to speak out on how the best team went ahead to win the game of football yesterday in New County. And we thank God for the gift of life. Don't forget to obviously say a prayer, and the Muslims Barak Laufikum. Now, also subscribe because we want to hit 17,000 subscribers before the end of this month, and I know we are left like 3 days left, but we can make it happen. We can drive it to where we want it to be all the time. So that is it coming in through from the sources that have gone ahead to bring us the stories, and let's obviously jet up or jet in with how everything will panned out. Now today, Marcus Rashford arrived at Carrington very early in the morning. That is Marcus Rashford, and he was driving to the Carrington where United really trains from, and even he was followed with his brother, and they arrived with his brother and agent Danny, who went ahead to obviously do the needful and really arrive at the club of Man United at Carrington to know what exactly the verdict is going to be as far as the club decision is really concerned. Remember, Marcus Rashford is that kind of player who went ahead to go to the club on Thursday, yet he knew to it that the last training session of the team was going to be done on Friday. He reported on Friday and he said he was ill, but photos of him in the club really leaked, and Eric Ten Hag went ahead to obviously find him and really get him out of the side of Man United that was going to play against Newport. So that is Rashford for you. So after arriving, we expect the verdict to be given to us to Marcus Rashford, and as to why Eric Ten Hag dropped him and what is the team gonna do. After the game of football that we played yesterday, Ten Hag was asked about Marcus Rashford and said he called in sick. The rest is an internal matter. I will take care of it. I said before the match it's an internal matter, meaning that it's a disciplinary break code. And you know what Ten Hag does? He has been a disciplinarian ever since he came in through at the club of Manchester United. And the first player to test the wrath of Eric Ten Hag was Alejandro Garnacho. When Alejandro Garnacho arrived late for training sessions, Ten Hag showed him that you aren't going to play any game in the preseason of 2022, and you are going to be on the bench. That is it. Not until Garnacho had to turn around his mindset and Ten Hag got him in the team, and he's now one of the most disciplined players on the field of play. The second person to test his wrath was Cristiano Ronaldo. The third person was Jadon Sancho. You get Rashford also tested his wrath, I think last year after the World Cup, when Rashford came off the bench and really scored one against Wolverhampton Wanderers. He really arrived late, when he had to obviously be part of the prep of the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he really had to suffer. Sancho is the latest culprit for the club of Manchester United, as Eric Ten Hag is going to let him know that unless you apologize to me and to the board of Man United and the players, you aren't going to get back at the club of Man United. Some people thought that because he's an English player, he will obviously supersede what Ten Hag is going to hate to say, but they got to know that Ten Hag is the man in control, and right now Sancho is playing at Borussia Dortmund. So that is it, what Sancho is doing down there for you. So Ten Hag is a man of his action. Rafael Varane also fell a culprit. That's why you saw it that in some 5 games he was not playing. You really understand why Ten Hag went ahead to make a decision like that. So it is really important to note that Ten Hag, before he came into the club of Man United, the board told him that they want him to raise the standards, and he's raising the standards, and that's how the teams like Manchester City really behave. You know, when Cancelo comes in through and really acts stubborn, he's thrown out of the team, and he's even sold or loaned. You know, when Aubameyang messes up at Arsenal, guess what Arteta does? He terminates his contract and takes him to Barcelona on a free. You know, Mesut Ozil the same. Liverpool, very many players, Jorginho Wijnaldum, very many other players that have gone ahead to follow for the manager, and the manager remains the main man. So that's exactly what Manchester United is doing onto Marcus Rashford and the rest of the players that are really trying to be very indisciplined. Then the Sun Football has gone ahead and confirmed to us that it is really a very huge fine that Man United has gone ahead, obviously, place onto Marcus Rashford for the breach of the code of conduct at the club of Manchester United, and we are being told that Marcus Rashford is facing a £650,000 fine, a £650,000 fine, equivalent to 2 weeks' wages for his absence from training, citing illness, despite being seen at a nightclub on the same night. Now, these are levels that you should be having at the club. Everything the player does and breaches the code of conduct that Ten Hag went ahead to set at the club of Man United, it exposes him to a fine of 2 weeks. And trust me, Rashford getting this fine of 2 weeks without a salary, almost £1 million, he's not gonna do this again. He's not gonna do this again. And I think that's why his agent has gone ahead to come in through to obviously plead for this, because the agent knows that he also has to get some money on this £650,000 a week that is not going to come in through. And it affects the agent because the agent might be earning like 10% per week. That is like 65,000. You get £65,000. So if he's missing £65,000 per week, that is going to really be affecting his pockets. And that's why he has come with a player and obviously talked to the manager. And they do this because they know it's also going to affect the agent of the player. And the agent of the player has to manage his player better. He needs to know exactly what he's doing at what time. And he needs to see his player not violating the code. And I think the agent is going to face him and tell him, please, you are really doing something bad. And Ten Hag will say, your client went ahead to really break the code, and he needs obviously apologize to his fellow players for having gone ahead to do that, and he needs obviously do the needful. And I've seen some people and players pledging that he shouldn't obviously be part of the Wolverhampton Wanderers game that we're going to play on Thursday, but I think he's going to be part of that squad of Manchester United. But I know it's going to be hard for him to start. That is it. It's going to be hard for him to start because Ten Hag believes it's not a doorless team. You know, they are doors that are really reliant onto your exit and coming in through. So Rashford has been fined that amount of money and he's gonna feel it. That's what I love Man United, and this is exactly what we really need as a club of Man United. You mess up with the club, you really suffer the consequences. So Rashford needs to obviously elevate his side, and this is what you get from players like him who are really wanting to get a contract. They play very well, you know, in their last year, you know, and they get the contract they want because Rashford earns close to, rumors say he's earning close to £300,000 a week. But there are rumors that vindicate this guy earns £400,000 a week. That is it. £400,000 a week. And ever since he got those huge sums of money, he has never been the same on the pitch. And you ask yourself, how does Rashford think? In the previous 4 games, he had 4 goal involvements, 2 goals and 1 assist. And we are going to play Newport, a team that he could go ahead and really score against, you know, and extend his scoring really run. Because yesterday, trust me, if Rashford was on that field of play, he really had a very beautiful chance to obviously score into that beautiful game of football, taking his tally to 5 goal contributions in 5 games. and you go to the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers when you are fired up and the confidence is really up. Now, this looks like a moment that's going to hit, obviously, downplay the confidence of this guy, and I think he needs, obviously, pick his cards right and press his buttons right, because as he tries to rise, then he gets a drop-off. But I really believe in the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers, he's going to be part of that. Unless otherwise the verdict coming through when it's really saying he shouldn't be part of the squad of Man United until further notice. So, but I know Marcus Rashford is a disciplined guy. He's going to go ahead and really apologize and really get back on the field of play. Then Micah Richards has said, Bruno Fernandes was brilliant yesterday, as well as Luke Shaw. They were both instrumental in that third goal. Luke Shaw was brilliant, and they needed him back in this side as soon as possible. It's the quality in the final moment. Anthony had really a good game too today. Now, so for everyone who says that Anthony never had a good game, I don't know what kind of game you're watching, but he really had a very good game. That is it. Games of football are all about statistics. You know, if he had a goal and an assist, then he deserves the hails. He deserves to obviously come in through and really be praised. That is it. So I don't see how people haven't gone ahead to give him his flowers, yet he deserves them. Then Bruno Fernandes, obviously, scoring a goal and doing the needful, but I have my reservations on Bruno Fernandes because of the way he conducts himself in the final third of the pitch. I think he should really act more better. You know, I want him to be played centrally, and one credit I give him yesterday, he kept his positional discipline. You know, he accelerated very well through the central axis of the pitch, and he gave the team the required drive that everyone was really talking about. So I want him to stay centrally. I don't want to see him run to the right, run to the left. Why? We are supposed to be in the midfield. You know, let Garnacho and Anthony Rashford do their job. So that is it, coming in through from Micah Richards, a former Man City player, and he said the following to Luke Shaw in there for you. The manager of Newport has come out and obviously told us the following, that the best team won. They are clinical when they got their chances. At 2-2, the ball comes off the post and it fell on Anthony. I did think at 2-2 we could possibly force a replay if we could weather the storm. Class saw them through. Obviously, when you look at how United scored the next 2 goals to make it 4, it was really one of the most brilliant moments you would see. For the third goal, you see how Bruno Fernandes releases this guy, releases Anthony. Anthony goes back to obviously do what we call a pullback, and there is a zero pass from a player who's in the midfield. Then that ball really finds Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw fakes the defender. The defender goes down and he turns on his weak foot, the right foot, hits it, deflects off the post, ricochets into the vicinity of Anthony, and Anthony hit in the back of the net. Fourth goal, you saw McTominay releasing, giving it to Garnacho. Garnacho went ahead to release Kobe Menu's effort was really blocked, and it fell in the vicinity of Rasmus Højlund, and Rasmus Højlund went ahead to obviously put in the back of the net to make it 4-2, and that took his tally to 8 this season. That is 8 goals. Bruno Fernandes now has 7 goals this season. So if we can see 4 players average 20 goals this season, that will take us to the promised land. Now, tell me thoughts about Ten Hag and Sir Jim finding Rashford. I welcome in the comment section below, as a big verdict is here to be announced today or tomorrow about which decision Manchester United is going to take onto Marcus Rashford, and his agent is there to plead for the player. What do you make about Micah Richards hailing Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandes' performances, and the manager of Newport confirming that the class of Man United saw them out of the FA Cup? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. We sign out.